Thank you so much, everyone watching us at Mbale Uncensored. It's a very beautiful day. We are in Mbale City and we are going to talk matters concerning Mbale City, the center of Bugisu, the center of Bamasaba. My name is Derek Wenani and I'm so pleased to inform you that starting today, we are going to be hosting these shows. We are going to be hosting different people who have knowledge about different matters in our city. Today, I'm so blessed that I'm hosting one of the experienced politicians here in Bugisu, a lawyer who has been in leadership before joining court. Allow me introduce to you retired honorable. Not so?
I'm not retired. Can't retire.
Council. Yasin Kawanguzi.
Wabomba.
Please, you're most welcome to Mbale Uncensored, where we talk things the way they are to inform people of different policies and different matters that concern their lives. For those who are staying in Mbale and beyond, you're most welcome, and please say hi to our people before we kick off today's show.
Well, I want to take this opportunity to say hi to the viewers, people who are going to listen to this piece of audio. I want to wish you a good day and a nice moment during our show.
All right, thank you so much for honoring our invitation and joining us for this show. This is our inaugural show concerning talk shows. We've been posting news stories and other matters concerning our society. But for today, this is a program, a show that is going to be airing weekly on this platform. And I want to ask for your support. Subscribe to our channels, YouTube, Mbale Uncensored, TikTok, follow us, Mbale Uncensored, Facebook, also follow us, X, everywhere. Follow us at Mbale Uncensored for more of these stories or more of these shows. Now today, as I told you, I have Council Yasin Kawanguzi Wabomba. He's a lawyer, a former politician in Mbale City, Deputy Speaker of Mbale City Council, and also a councillor. He began his journey as a youth councillor. He has a lot of knowledge about matters concerning Mbale City. And today, we're going to use this chance to learn many things that are going on in Mbale City. First of all, I want us to learn about his life ever since he left the council. How has been your life? Some people thought you wouldn't survive without being at council.
True, that would sound good to the enemies of progress.
Yeah.
But I want to thank God and glory be to Allah that I'm still surviving and I'm staying a happy life. I'm okay. I have no problem.
Yes.
God has kept me well.
Amen. First brief us when you went into council, when you went into leadership, and when you came out of council.
Well, I started my journey. First of all, I'm a son of a peasant.
Yes.
When I call myself to be a son of a peasant, very few people know my parents. My father works in industrial area there. He's a common man.
Yes.
He's a businessman. My mother used to work in Malaba as a smuggler previously, and she raised us, paid our school fees through smuggling and doing some businesses around.
Yes.
I grew up as any other person around town. I grew up in this town because this is where I was born. I picked interest in leadership. I straight away went and joined politics as a young boy. Very young by then. I think the age of 23, 22 around there.
Oh.
I started being a youth leader at Northern Division by then. I was a youth councillor.
Northern Division and Mbale Municipality.
And Mbale Municipality, but with a lot of ambition.
Yes.
Because I remember when I contested as a councillor at Northern Division, I wanted to be the speaker of that division because I would believe in myself. I had a lot of self-esteem and demeanor in me.
Yes.
But people told me to calm down. I was still young and they didn't see the value I had to be the speaker by then, because they automatically knew I didn't have enough experience, which was true.
Yeah.
So I decided to be I was voted as a deputy speaker of Northern Division by then, under the leadership of Sezi. Mafabi says,
Yes.
who was the chairman.
Yes.
And the speaker was Sukira Godfrey. I was the deputy speaker during that regime. I served very well my people. I invested so much in serving my ward and the youths at large. So during that period, I came back and I contested in 20 now. That was the next term. After
You served at Northern Division for 5 years.
I served at Northern Division for 5 years. I again came back the next term. I joined Mbale Municipal Council as a councillor for Nabuyonga Ward. The first place I was a councillor for the youths. Then I joined Nabuyonga Ward as a direct elected councillor
to the municipal council.
Municipal Council by then.
That's 2016.
That is now 2016.
Okay.
So when in the same position I served as a councillor, I also contested as General Secretary NRM Youth League Mbale District. I was voted by the young people.
Yes.
And we are the ones who have just handed power over to the new electorants for the Youth League in Mbale District.
Oh.
So I joined the Mbale Municipal Council as a councillor, directly elected. I contested still as speaker for the Mbale Municipal Council. We tied our votes between me and Mr. Michael Nandala. We tied 3 times when we were getting draw votes. Me and Nandala were getting draw votes. So people opted again to vote me as a deputy speaker. I served as a deputy speaker for a period of 5 years at the municipality. And after the 5 years again, I came back when we have now inaugurated into the city.
Okay.
I contested as a councillor, Northern City West, but unfortunately I could not make it. But during my period as a councillor at the municipal council, I also went back for further studies. I started studying law at IUI University.
Yeah.
I was admitted directly. I didn't do
I know some of the viewers
entry.
were wondering why I'm calling you council, because
Yes.
they expect me to call you honorable only.
Yeah, so many people didn't know that
Yeah.
I was a student of law and I graduated. I graduated in 2022 because of COVID and politics.
Wow.
It took me time. From there, I joined the development law, the development center, law development center, LDC at Lira campus.
Oh.
So that is where I also struggled to get my postgraduate diploma in legal practice.
Okay.
Currently, I'm practicing with Nangulu and Mugoda advocates.
Here you are.
And this is where I am. My life out of politics is quite interesting. And somehow, sometimes I feel embarrassed because I'm not among the people making decisions for my town. Because I feel so many mistakes have been made.
True.
So many errors have been made, and I say, I wish I was there. This would not happen. A lot of injustice has been made on our people in the town and so many other things, which I would wish that if I was still a leader, I would have a voice over them. But since I'm not directly into the leader, I have a voice, but through such medias, platforms, and radios, and so many other things.
Okay.
But my work now is just to speak, which is unlike the other time, action would be there.
Okay. Yeah. Nice preamble of the show. We are just beginning, and today we don't want to waste another time. We are going to be hosting Honorable Yasin Council on several matters concerning leadership and also the law, because he has been into leadership and he's eyeing more positions in leadership and he's a council. So we are going to be looking at several topics concerning leadership, governance, and the law. So today, there are some eminent issues that we want to address in Mbale City that are oppressing our people, who are especially occupying Asians who departed and left behind those properties. The departed Asians' properties have become a matter of concern in Mbale City. Most of the landlords right now in the city are battling court cases stemming from these properties. Some of them are ignorant of the law on how these matters should be handled, and some of them are being oppressed by the leaders themselves or the people who have gotten places of responsibility in the city. Today, we want to discuss this matter concerning the departed Asians' property, their management, administration, and how it's supposed to be done. We're not here to condemn anyone, but we are here to say the right way things are supposed to be handled. I want us to start from there, Council Yasin. What do you know about Asian properties in Mbale City as a former leader?
Well, as a former leader, I'll first of all start with a very brief background of what departed Asian properties are in Uganda, not only in Mbale.
Mm.
Uh, Departed Asian properties was a result of the decree which was issued by the then president, the late Idi Amin Dada. It was Order Number 1 of 1972.
Yes.
It was instructing all the Indians and Asians to leave the country. Uh, People who interpreted well the decree said the late president issued a decree to the non-citizen Asians who were in the country, but all the Asians and others were affected because I think when the president issued the decree, it was a forged decree. It would not interpret well, but later on, the president tried to say that the non-citizens by then who were Asians in this country, but all Asians left the country, and it affected the over 23,000 properties by then of those Asians, and it affected over 80,000 Asians by then who were citizens and residents of this country.
Okay.
Some of them were not citizens; they had not acquired citizenships,
Yes.
but they were residents in this country. So that decree affected them heavily. They left the country. They fled the country. They left over 56,000 properties and estates, farms in the country,
Yes.
and those properties were occupied by the state agencies by then, army officers, and prominent government officials by then who were serving the government of the late Idi Amin Dada.
Yes.
So most of the properties were given to powerful businessmen by then who were there, Africans who were there, prominent people who were in the country. But more so, the state agencies and soldiers by then occupied more of the properties of the departed Asians. This was in so many towns in the country. Most of the urban centers, including those village urban centers. For example, in Bugisu here, we have Mayenze, we have Buweri, we have Bududa, and so many other centers where the Asians had settled by then.
Yes.
It affected their property, they left their property and registered, others registered their properties. In the year 1973, I think there was a custodian board which was formulated to register and provide repossession of those properties.
Yes.
Some of the Indians who were settled in Uganda here and had citizenship came back and repossessed their properties. But more so, the repossession process started in 1990 to 1996. Thousands of Asians came back and repossessed their properties, including the Madivan group of companies and so many others. They repossessed their property and settled back in Uganda here. A few properties remained unclaimed for, but a lot of fraud happened on those unclaimed properties which were still remaining in the country.
Yes.
And we see that some of these properties are still a problem. Some of these properties have affected the country and these urban centers because of lack of clear ownership on them. They are dilapidated, they are not even developed. In some urban centers like urban towns like Ginger, you discover that there was a policy which was given that those properties be uh, mortgaged, those properties be be given out to potential bidders to take them, since they had now become public assets,
Yes.
because they had no owner on them.
Mm.
Their leases had expired.
Yes.
Those towns did it, and except in Mbale. Way back when I was still a councillor at the city, we had a delegation which went and met the General Salim Saleh in his residence home in Garuga.
Yes.
And General gave us a condition to have that those properties of the Asian which are dilapidated, unclaimed, have no clear ownership onto them, to list them and have them uh, uh, have them uh, disposed of to potential developers, given to developers who are potential.
Okay.
But unfortunately, it was frustrated by a few individuals by then who misled the mayor by then, and that process never succeeded.
So Mbale never submitted a list of those properties.
Mbale never submitted a list of those properties for further action, because the law later on had to change, that the properties which were not repossessed, properties which the leases had expired, would revert back to the district land board. And currently it is the city land board. So every property which the lease expires and it has no tenant currently sitting there who is recognized, that property reverts back to the city
land board.
But where there is a tenant sitting on that property, that tenant is always given first priority. The property does not revert automatically, but it goes through stages, several stages to the city.
Yes.
So now we still have a big challenge in the town here. So many buildings have been earmarked by some fraud Asians who claim they come in town and purport to be owners.
To be from the original families that were expelled.
Perfect. To be from those original families which were expelled. And they claim ownership of most of those properties. But I thank God to some of these wise Africans also who argue them out and challenge them. Some of them are tenants, because the law is clear that from the time of the constitution, when the constitution came into power,
yes,
up to the current period now, if someone has been settled on the land undisturbed, that person enjoys a lot of rights legally. One, that person is a bona fide occupant of that property. That person becomes an advanced possessor of that property.
Yes.
But the person who settles on land at a period before the constitution came into force, and the constitution comes in force and finds that person on that land,
yes,
that person now becomes legally a bona fide occupant of that property. Whereas a person who settles on land for a period of 12 years and 1 day, undisturbed, when I say undisturbed, no one has gone
no one has been complaining about his possession.
That person becomes an advanced possessor. He holds that property as an advanced possessor. So in instance that the Asians who departed and left their properties back, the committee was instituted. They gave them a period of time to come and reclaim their property. It is unfortunate that the period to reclaim those property never was not given together. And these people keep on still coming, claiming that we claimed for our property way back.
Could there be some officials, maybe in the Ministry of Land or in the city, who stage these Indians to come and claim these buildings in their name?
Yeah, it is purported. It is purported. But the unclaimed buildings were reverted back to the custodian board. And now these buildings which are not claimed, an Indian cannot come now unless he claimed some time back to claim a property in Uganda. But these Indians now, unless that property was registered and it is under the properties which were supposed to be reclaimed, it is registered. So unless if it is not registered, any Indian, any Asian cannot come back
and say this is my building.
But there is always an error. A lot of money was discovered to have been swindled, and a lot of property were discovered that they have been just fixed into the claimants, the properties to be claimed, and now the custodian board was supposed to repossess most of these properties back into their management.
Okay.
But like a scenario I saw around town here, there was a property which was under the custodian. So when the custodian board came on ground, they dealt with one tenant on that property, not knowing, not carrying on a thorough investigation. But to me, I think that there was connivance between the custodian and...
They didn't establish all tenants who were living on that
Perfect. They didn't conduct a clear investigation on the building.
Okay.
So when they came, they handed over the building to one individual.
Yes.
But this individual, after him even losing his property, he sold his property, a very premium property, which was on Soroti Road. He sold over 300 million shillings. He handed this money to the custodian. It is alleged.
It is alleged.
It is alleged because we don't
board.
have no proof, but it is alleged that when he sold the property, he went and paid. I don't know he paid this money in which way, but his property went and he was promised to take. There were bona fide occupants on that property. There were still advanced possessors on that property. So the only way you would remove those advanced possessors by through compensation.
Yes.
And these bona fide occupants also have a right, a legal right on those property. It is now a court issue, which I don't want to discuss further.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, but we shall see what court will determine. We are still waiting for what the court will give to this person who had sued the custodian, and he has also sued those sitting tenants. He has also sued those advanced possessors and the bona fide occupants on that property.
Okay.
But people have gone further to continue making errors into this custodian property.
Can the Stelland board remove a building from the original possessor and give it to an investor or a developer without his or her consent, or without his or her consent? I mean, consent.
The city land board has no capacity to do that unless when the lease has expired, the building reverts back. But if it is a custodian property, which is under the custodian board,
yes,
still the city land board has no overall authority over that property, whom we can call like maybe the tenants, the bona fide occupants on that property, or the advanced possessors who are on that property, which is owned by individuals and give it to investors. It has no that capacity.
Okay. Yes. Council, what does the law say about the ownership of those properties by the Indians? Can Indians own properties in Uganda? And some people think that the president paid those Indians.
Yeah.
They were paid by the government of Uganda, compensated for the properties.
Well,
what's your take on that?
Well, some properties were compensated. For example, Coma SS.
Yes.
It is alleged that those Asians who owned those properties were compensated because every property where a government had interest, the properties were compensated by government, and no Asian demands those properties. The question of whether an Asian can own a property in Uganda, it is illegal. An Asian only can lease a property, can own it through leasing.
Through leasing.
He can own land through leasing, but he cannot own land like any other Ugandan. But where he is a citizen, he can own land. But if he's not a citizen of this country, he cannot own land. Okay. Then a foreigner in a country only leases. You can buy land and then you sublease it to an Asian, but an Asian cannot buy land from you. Oh. If an Asian buys land, that means that it is illegal. It is illegal. That land cannot be owned by such a person. Land is only owned by citizens of this country. But again, Asians have a right to leases. They can only lease some of these properties.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, our people who are watching us everywhere you are. You know, now this is a global platform. Wherever you are, you watch us. YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and all other social networks will be getting us there. Today, I was having Council Yasin Kawanguzi Wabomba. He's also, besides being a lawyer, a former leader in Mbale City, a former city councillor, a former youth councillor at the division level. Then he climbed to the city level, where he went out of council at the position of a deputy speaker. Now today, we've been discussing on the matter concerning the departed Asians' property, those properties that were left behind by the 1972 economic war. For us in high school, it's called an economic war. 1972, when President Idi Amin ordered the Asians to vacate Uganda. Now, that conversation today is just sparking our shows that are going to be hosted here weekly with the Honorable and the Council, Yasin Kawanguzi. Honorable, maybe your way forward, recommendation on how our leaders here and the Council and the National Board and the Stand Board can come together to solve these matters where most of the landlords in the city are currently battling court cases.
Well, my advice as a former leader and also a legal mind, I would say that the custodian board has to work hand in hand with the city council to bring some of these squatters, some of these tenants, some of these advanced possessors of this building, because you find a building being owned by over 10 people.
Yes.
You find a building having over 6 owners, 4 owners. You find people not having proper documentation of their buildings, and that hinders a lot of development. No one can develop a property which he does not own. Much as the Constitution is very clear under Article 26 that a person has a right to own their properties. But if you don't own a property, you cannot develop that property because you may not be sure of when you leave that property. So me, I would call upon the city authority and the custodian board to work hand in hand. There are so many remedies under the custodian board if they work together with the city authority.
Yes.
If they don't aim at enriching themselves, but look at serving the people and making the town look better. Because we see a lot of buildings around town that are so dilapidated. People keep on asking themselves why those buildings still in the middle of the town when they are so dilapidated.
Exactly, that's the big
But
question.
the major secret problem behind that is that some of these buildings are not owned by individuals. These buildings still have battles. These buildings still have court issues in court. We are happy for the commissioner of inquiry which was here. It tamed some of the more fraudulent Indians who were frauding Africans, who were purporting to be relatives of the departed Asians, descendants of the departed Asians.
Yes.
But now the commission helped us. It helped us on many individuals. I would withhold not to mention their names, but they have been tamed because they were claiming properties all over the country. There will be the same people claiming property in Jinja, Masaka, everywhere, Barara, wherever any Asian properties were, there would be the same people making their fraud claiming those properties. During the Bamugemere Commission of Inquiry, we saw that one of the Asians here had over 270 properties. One individual. One Indian had over 270 properties owned by him, and he was still claiming for more.
He was claiming
In
more.
total, the commission discovered that that Asian had over 200 and claiming properties. And then he was owning over 270 properties, one individual, alleging and purporting that he was a relative of the and a descendant of the deserted the Asians who departed the country
in 1972.
Exactly. So council should work hand in hand with the custodian board to see that these properties are given to these individuals. And these individuals should also be brought on board to know that they don't own, but they are only acquiring these properties through proper measures. So they should not be so hard they should be very flexible. Even when you own a room, even when you own 3 or 2 rooms, but you share that property and develop it. That goes back to our leaders and the custodian board.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us today, Council Yasin Kawanguzi Wabomba. And he also, do you have more prospects for leadership again in Mbale City?
Yeah, I'm not very old and not era in
True.
my leadership,
True.
my previous leadership. Only that I was blackmailed.
Yes.
People blackmailed me, but up to now, my people still want me to contest, and I'm still making up my mind anytime I can contest as an independent
Okay.
at any level of leadership
Yeah.
in the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I still have ambitions.
Okay, thank you so much. Watch out for Honorable Yasin Kawanguzi at any time. He will be making a comeback into the political arena of Mbale City. There are many positions that he can take up. And here I am also Derek and telling you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, our TikTok channel, and get more of these exclusive stories. That has been the departed Asians properties cases here in Mbale City. We've got some of the remedies and the history surrounding those buildings. Today, we shall end there. In the next show, we shall get another thing to talk about concerning the law, governance, and leadership. My name is Derek Wenani. Ask you again to subscribe.